misowe chalo chalila kwati chiloto na ufati we mufyashi wayo wele sechi chatuponena chafina palwesu yechi tukwanyishe twakabilo buchingo bobe twakabilo kubana iwe Yesu twakabile chikuko chobe Mona, mona, amalanda ya fula twabike subira muliwe twachetekela iwe isotwa suke esatafilwapo enatafilwapo atulatafilwapo adejukumu defilamba
Abati umopaliwe anakila kumushi umwenyelinga wenkondo halume ya jawo ponye mfuti yawe aya wendo mutende wenda wayimikina tukesa umana
bengi baya ichichena chakalika wakulekela we mwine utule wefu bengi wotusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine utule wefu.
Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. We're going to have two sets of broadcast. I'll be appearing on KBN TV at 20:30 Zambian time. I'll use the opportunity to react to whatever the head of state will have said and the happenings of the day and the state of the nation at the time at 20:30. But I thought we could just do an urgent recap. You are aware that the family spokesperson, Honorable Makebi Zulu, issued a statement earlier in the day in which he stated that the demands have been put to government and they've had a cycle of negotiations, first with the delegation of Honorable Mlambo Haimbe, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, whose preoccupation, I think, was just to pick the body from South Africa and bring it back to Zambia. I think there were very urgent issues and the family rejected just to have a discussion centered around the repatriation of the remains. His sole mandate appeared just to secure the body and bring it to Zambia. Those talks broke down and they were heated. The entire two or three sets of talks that took place were very heated. I think there was wisdom in the president, who then replaced Mlambo Haimbe with the secretary to cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, who accompanied two seniors in Honorable Enoch Kavindele and Honorable Leslie Mbola. But as soon as the family became aware of the two special envoys in Honorable Enoch Kavindele and Honorable Leslie Mbola, there was a very strong objection. You know, these personalities, though senior, though having occupied the position of vice president and secretary to cabinet, they've engaged themselves in very hostile public statements in support of President Hakainde Hichilema and against President Edgar Lungu. So they were found to be unsuitable. The secretary to cabinet then temporarily assumed, because he was merely a secretary to that meeting, assumed the negotiations and took the demands for the family and said you table them to the president, and government had already allowed that had already announced that the body will come to Lusaka on Wednesday, 11th June 2025. And then there was a church service the following day. So all the parties attended the church service at the cathedral, the Sacred Heart Cathedral in Pretoria. The service went very well. The former President Edgar Lungu, was honored by the Zambian community in South Africa. A required mass was held and graced by Zambian priests, up to 7 Zambian priests, including one father from the Catholic Archdiocese of Lusaka, the Lusaka Archdiocese. So all that went very well. I remember on this program regretting that in that meeting, in all our entire speakers, they didn't recognize the presence of the secretary to cabinet and these two seniors, the vice president and the former secretary to cabinet. In a gathering like that, all the speakers have to acknowledge in the protocols. They were not acknowledged, and I felt that, having been a diplomat, that I could apologize for that, and I did say there was a serious lapse, that they were not recognized in that meeting. Since then, government has not acquiesced or yielded to the demands of the family. What have been the demands of the family? That number one, there should be 3 church services, one in Ndola. The community of churches in Ndola in the last 6 months have been praying with President Edgar Lungu and the family. The community of churches in Ndola have been fasting, have been praying, have been wishing that the president recovers and that the president returns to Zambia safely and that he can help guide the nation. So Ndola, other than that, is a place of birth for the former president, President Edgar Lungu. Is a special place, especially what has occurred in the last 6 months. And the family felt like they did to the community in South Africa that has been praying with them, that they also could be accorded an opportunity to mourn the president and that the remains could be taken to Ndola, have a church service, formal church service, and then Petauke. There's no debate. That's a place of his birth, and not everyone can come. And that's a place of his home. He comes from Petauke. The second demand was that they be allowed, the people that have been helping them, supporting them during the entire 6 months, to be in South Africa to support the cost of living in South Africa and the cost of the medical bills. Have also provided support for the return of the remains of the former president. And they thought this is a request they should honor, and that because President Edgar Lungu traveled as a private person and is returning as a private person, that demand must be respected. The state will take over when he lands, whether we are starting with the church service in Ndola or whether we are starting with the church service in Lusaka. Sorry, whether we are landing at Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe to begin the church service in Ndola that the family has requested, or whether the remains will land at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, the state takes over. The last major demand is that the body must lie in state the entire time. Remember, the body usually lies at either minus or discarded because it's like the president or former president. So the body, instead of lying at minus or military or medical center, mortuary facilities there, they've requested that the body will lie in state at the residence of the former president. And the state will still secure the remains. It's not that they will not have access to it. They will secure the remains the entire time. Those have been the major. There could be other demands, but those have been the major demands. There was an early announcement by Honorable Makebi Zulu that there's also a wish that, remember we talked about the speakers list. I think they meant that the speakers list that the president may not speak at that conference, at that memorial or funeral service, and that the president may come nowhere near them. Of course, we have precedents. Many people remember Senator McCain, and former presidential candidate, in 2018 when he died. He put it in his will that President Donald Trump should not come to my funeral. It's a state funeral. I know I'll be honored with it's an official state funeral. I'll have dignitaries from across the world, but President Donald Trump should not be attend that funeral. And it was a state funeral, colorful, dignified, full state funeral for John McCain. But President Donald Trump was excused from that funeral. He mourned outside the environment. So there is precedence in which that can be honored. Now, there's been major reactions from the nation. The president is the head of state. The president is a host of his colleagues that will come. There will be some heads of state that will come from the region, and there will be some heads of state that former president that will come from the region, and the president is chief mourner number one, and that he should host, and he should be there. That's a purpose of negotiations. The family have put their demands. Your role is to respond, not to insult them, not to belittle them. Your role is, remember what I said yesterday. Former Prime Minister Theresa May said, compromise is not a dirty word. And this applies to both the family and President Hakainde Hichilema. All of them, it should be a give and take. Okay, ichituasuminisha, ichituakana, ichituasuminisha. They should negotiate. That's why I'm very pleased today. Before I go any further, my address will be short because we have to give an opportunity to hear what the head of state is saying. He's speaking for the first time in 7 days since the demise of the president. President Hakainde Hichilema will address the nation this evening, in the next 30 minutes or so. We have been demanding that he should speak. He has not spoken. Twadilomba wakateka bikule nimfwa. Up to now. There was a small Facebook posting by the president, but he has never spoken. He has never announced the death of his predecessor. And his remarks tonight will be very important for us to understand what he wishes to say and what his absence has been. Some people are praising him that he's been very wise to keep quiet. No, there are presidential responsibilities. For example, the announcing of the death of your predecessor or former president is your duty. You can't be derelict to that duty. So we'll hear the president, and I'll give an analysis. I'll be on KBN TV, and I hope that we can share it on my page and other pages, and I'll respond to whatever the president will have said. There's another important matter. It's only what time is it here? It's only 10 hours here in the United States, in the state where I am. So I've just woken up and I've just been updating myself, getting to know what the family said, updating myself with what has happened. I came across that video. I'm very disturbed that there were some unruly people at the secretariat shouting that you can't sing a Tonga song. Now that's a great insult. Our Secretary General, Honorable Raphael Nakachinda, is Tonga. And we have many senior Tongas in our family of the Patriotic Front, in the Central Committee, and our members. And the way social media is, that video pained me. Many people know that I'm married to Monde Mwendabai. She's Lozi, she's from Western Province. My children, although you know me as Emmanuel Mwamba, might be Muvitas and Nawas. So I abhor tribalism. At the heart of it, I abhor tribalism. And I would like to use this opportunity as a spokesperson of the Patriotic Front to apologize deeply for those offensive remarks by those unruly people that were refusing a song in Tonga. There are many times we sing in Tonga. Even Catholic songs we would sing in Tonga. There should be no sense of polarization. Remember, we are preaching one Zambia, one nation. And remember, we are preaching that we are united in our diversity. And that the emergence of political polarization, regionalism and tribalism in our politics is something we regret. It's something we all deeply regret. And on behalf of the Patriotic Front, and I'll liaise with my leadership, but I think that I have the requisite power as spokesperson to quickly speak to this matter. That matter might appear small, but for me, that is ugly. It is marring what we have so far survived in the last 7 days. We've been united, singing all sorts of songs, being united. Bembas, Tongas, Lozis, Lundas, Luvales, Ngonis, all of us have mourned with oneness. I thought I could quickly address that matter before I go to any other issue. That matter is regrettable, and our official statement as a Patriotic Front is that this particular issue is regrettable, and our lower structures that are handling the supporters, and led by our Central Committee, member of Central Committee, Christopher Shakafu. So I think we'll identify those people that were doing that. They are painting a wrong picture on behalf of the Patriotic Front. Our acting president, Given Luwinda, is lousy. You know, I've been playing one of the tributes here by, Monde. You've seen that tribute, and he's one of our presidential candidates, like me and like 8 others that paid. So we are united in diversity. That particular video must be condemned, and condemned strongly. And I think the Secretary General will pick it up, the leadership will pick it up, and will identify the few people that were shouting. I think, as you can see, in the body of the people at the Secretariat, it's like they're just 4, 5, 6, and one woman shouting, Awe, not if you're not Ichitonga. Please, our differences with President Hakainde Hichilema must never extend to his family or to his tribe. That would be narrow, that would be parochial, that would be un-Zambian. You'll be betraying the feelings and emotions of President Edgar Lungu, who is married, who has family married, among them Tongas. You know, you remember on my podcast, he said there was one gentleman who's a father-in-law, who's Abakuluwa Nabo, and he's Tonga. So what does that reflect if you do that? So we would like to regret that and apologize profusely. And I think Honorable Christopher Shakafuswa can look at that video and identify those 4 or 5 unruly people. And we thank whoever captured it. Because some things that happen, ugly things that happen, the leadership never get to see it. So I think that was very regrettable. And as a party, we wish to apologize. This evening, I'll be addressing State of the Nation with Kenneth Mambwe, Thursday, 20:30. And tune in at 20:30. We will not have the regular address, but I'm going to appear on KBN TV, and you can follow us on. The church, I've issued a church, the Evangelical Fellowship Church of Zambia, have issued a very strong statement appealing to the family of former President Edgar Lungu and to President Hakainde Hichilema to ensure that they resolve this impasse. Lusaka is known as a place of peace, a place of accord. There is nothing that we have never resolved. Kaunda led the way. There is no problem we have never resolved. Dr. Kaunda, you remember, did all the major accords. They are called Lusaka Accord. You know, the birth of Namibia, most of the negotiations took place in Zambia. The birth of South Africa, most of the negotiations took place in Zambia, because you remember that that the African National Congress was resident in Zambia and placed its headquarters for 30 years. Oliver Tambo, Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, and others lived in Lusaka. And all the Central Committee, didn't matter where the leadership of the ANC were, whether they were in Japan, whether they were in Norway, whether they were in the United Kingdom, or where they were on the war front in Namibia, Angola, and Mozambique. When there was a Central Committee by the ANC, they all flew to Lusaka. Lusaka is a place of peace. And Bishop Dr. Mwenda is reminding us that, Mr. President, we have a rich history in which we do not fail to resolve any matter. And that is his core. Can we resolve the matter?
chafina, chafinisha, ichi tena chafina, chafina, ichi tena chafina, chafinisha, ichi tena chafina. Aya ifumu ya bebe, awe na ila lotu, aya mukula lotu. Mushiri mushawa mashani ala wamina wengi na pashipatarara iwe wamina wengi na pashipatarara Noma boy bintu binyichi Mwasala kusi ya seo tunila Adada mulale muchimote Chena chakalipa wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu wengi watusha ichi chena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu tutule wefumu wakulekela we mwine ichi chena chafina Wena chakulisha tutule wakulekela we mwine tutule
umumwakwenda na umfwila kasemo abati umopaliwe.
Family, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us at very short notice. I think we've addressed all the matters for now. We'll wait for the address by the head of state and we'll come and respond accordingly. But here are the key takeaways. Number one, today, Honorable Makebi Zulu, first of all, about Honorable Makebi Zulu, he's been with the family the last 6 months. He's not only a lawyer for the family, he's also a member of the family. So he's not masquerading as spokesperson. There are a lot of attacks against him. And I encouraged him today, be strong, carry this burden for now. There will be, and all of us are being attacked, insulted left and right and center, but carry this burden, but be driven not just by family interest, but by also national interest. So Honorable Makebi Zulu and the entire team that is in South Africa are very alert and sensitive to the demands of the country, but also this huge burden to discharge the interest and demands of the family, and he has been communicating those issues. And the key issues is that there should be a funeral church service, the remains should go to Ndola, because the community of churches in Ndola have been praying and fasting the last 6 months. There should be a church service in Petauke, that's his home, President Lungu's home, and that the remains should be not lie at Maina Soko Hospital, but they should lie at the residence of the former president. There have been 2 talks that have collapsed. Number one, the ones that were led by Honorable Mlambo Haimbe, the Minister of Information, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and his delegation. Those discussions were very hostile, and you can imagine, because the president had just died. So all of us, I think the emotions were very, very high. In light of how the president has lived the last 3.5, 4 years. So the emotions were very high, but his singular role and demand was to come and pick the body and return it to Lusaka so that the president could declare the period of national mourning. The family had demanded that the period of national mourning should only be declared when the body touches down, which was a proposed Wednesday, 11th June 2025. So that was the first thing that was broken, is that as soon as Mlambo left, we saw the president then declare a period of national mourning for 7 days, and beginning Sunday, and the clock began to tick. I think maybe they had hoped that the pressure would make the family yield to their demands. It hasn't worked. A second batch of negotiators were sent, led by Honorable Enoch Kavindele, former Vice President and Secretary to Cabinet, former Secretary to Cabinet, Honorable Leslie Mbula, with the Secretary to cabinet himself, Mr. Patrick Chagwa. Those talks collapsed. Partly, number one, there was some delays because of the special envoys. They've been very hostile to the family of President Lungu. And the other matter was that then, you know, there was an opportunity, maybe the head of state, to then allow Patrick Chagwa to lead the negotiations. And the demands were laid, and government has been, the family has been waiting if government will honor the demands. And those demands to date have not been honored, and hence a statement by the family that it appears that the government is not yet ready to move on the demands of the family. Then today, as soon as I woke up, I watched a video saying no Tonga songs. I was personally offended, and I have apologized on behalf of the party, and even me personally, I'm offended by that. We have many senior members of our party that are Tongas. Many of those Central Committee members you were seeing, the women, are Tongas. So you cannot have anyone uttering those. Those ugly things will be used by our enemies to attempt to present us as who we are. Just like the issue of party violence. You know, when the cadres were perpetuating violence, they interpret that the leadership has supported it. So it's very important that the party quickly dissociates itself from that particular incident. It doesn't represent us. It doesn't represent Lusaka province. It doesn't represent the Lusaka choir the Lusaka choirs that usually sing. They sing all sorts of songs. So that, maybe they were planted, we don't know. But whatever it is, I think the leadership will take hold of that and will deal with it. Mabantu wa Kwalesa, I will see you at 2030. God bless you. God bless our country. Let's listen to the president whenever he comes on at 20 hours, and let's hear, then let's reflect at 19 hours, and let's reflect at 2030. God bless you. God bless our country. May the Lord keep our peace. Amen.
Chafinisha ichichena chafina ichichena chafinisha ichichena chafina aya ifumu ya bebe awena ila lotu aya mukula lotu we muchiri na panchipatarara iwe wabinawe na panchipatarara noma boibintu binyichi wasala kusiyaseo tulila adada mulale muchimote bengi baya ichichena chakalipa wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu wengi watusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu wakulekela we mwine ichichena chafina wena chakulisha tutule wakulekela we mwine
umumwakwenda na umfwila kasemo abati umopaliwe anakila kumushini umwenyelinga wenkondo halume ya jalo aponye mfuti yawe aya wendo mutende wenda wayimina tukesa umana
bengi baya ichichena chakalipa wakule wakulekelawe mwine ututule wefumu yewe ndiwotusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekelawe mwine ututule wefutule tutule wefumu wakulekelawe mwine ichichena chafina wena chakulisha tutule wakulekelawe mwine.
As the sunlight breaks through the grief that blankets our nation, I bow my head in solemn reflection, not only as a former cabinet minister, but as one who walked, served, and leaned under the steady and humble leadership of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. His passing is not just the loss of a former head of state. It is the silence of a heart that beat for the people. A heart that, though often misunderstood, remained anchored in service, compassion, and peace. President Lungu not only led with a loud declaration, but with quiet resolve. At a time when politics around the world grew bitter and divisive, he stood firm, not in arrogance, but in grace. He taught us that leadership is not about the spotlight, but about bearing the weight of a nation with dignity and restraint. He bore that weight for you, for me, for Zambia. I was privileged to serve under his administration. I watched firsthand his deep concern for the ordinary Zambian, the farmer in the field, the youth seeking opportunity, the mother building a home, marketeers, and all that needed his hand. He never merely chased leadership, but leadership chose him, as can be testified at his first election in 2015. An anointed son of the soil to bear burdens of the people. He did not fight for himself, he fought for Zambia. And now on this day, we do not mourn as a people without hope. We remember that a life poured out in service is never lost. It is planted. And from it grows courage, unity, and a renewed call for us all to live lives that matter. To the family, I offer my prayers. To the nation, I pray for unity, love, and peace to honor his legacy. Let us honor him, not just with words, but with action. Let us be leaders in our homes, in our communities, in our hearts. Let us choose peace. Let us choose unity. Let us carry Zambia and our dreams together. Rest well, Your Excellency. Your journey on earth is complete, but your legacy marches on. God bless Zambia as we mourn. Thank you.
More thing before I die. Can I do one more thing before I die? Can I say one last prayer for someone in need of love? Can I please sing one more song? Oh, just for one more song.